Most Americans are saying leave Social Security alone. In fact, only 17% of Republicans favor a reduction in benefits. For years, the Republicans have been on a mission to privatize Social Security. Speaker Paul Ryan has led that charge in recent years. Donald Trump has been on record taking the position Social Security will not be his target if he's president.
The Democrats are doing nothing with Social Security. They're leaving it the way it is. In fact, they want to increase it. They want to actually give more. And what we're up against, and whether we like it or not, that is what we're up against. I will do everything within my power not to touch Social Security.
So I think Donald Trump is a total idiot, and he has no idea what he's talking about. Well, there's basically two problems. The ratio of younger workers to retirees was very high. The only reason why the ratio is the key problem is because Congress never took into account an actuarial perspective on Social Security. You only have three things you can change. You get more workers. There is a way to do that. It's called immigration, but that's a different issue. The second thing is that you increase the age, okay? If you don't increase the age, you have to increase the taxes. The Democrats aren't being honest about it and basically saying what it is, because they'll always go around and say things like, oh, the Republicans want to steal your money. No, the math does not work. It's not their money. None of these workers have put in enough money to receive the benefits they're receiving. And that's very dishonest by the Democrats to do that. The Republicans are just as dishonest, because when they say, oh, privatize, they're not really saying you're if the stock market doesn't work out for you. Any what's called means testing, if you have a certain amount of income level, then you don't, even though you're paying into it, you don't get it. Now think about it. The Democrats in theory are not for the rich people. Now why would they be against means testing, which would basically mean that the rich people don't get any benefits? In theory, they should be for that. The answer is because once you start doing that, you start doing what I said. You start defining what's really going on. And they want this collective mirage of everybody's getting what they paid in. So the bottom line is there's no political courage in this country, and the voters are not demanding it. So we just kind of fumble through it.
With a dropping worker-to-recipient ratio, the Social Security is bound to go bankrupt and collapse. The drop in this ratio can be attributed to the growing population of the elderly. Technology and modern medical practices have increased the average life expectancy. As a result, more and more people will live longer. This places more stress on Social Security as people are earning benefits for longer and longer. The chart above shows the growth of coverage recipients, indicating an extreme growth in Social Security. The table above reveals the increase in benefit payments. With more elderly living longer, Social Security has a large requirement of benefit payments. From 1937 to now, Social Security has 481,000 times more benefit payments. Now, what does this mean for Social Security reserves? Well, currently the system makes less money than it pays out, so the system will start dipping into its reserves for funding. The current system is evidently unsustainable. By 2037, Social Security is expected to go bankrupt. For this reason, the system needs to be reformed.
So here are some of the solutions we came up with to fix it. Number one, and perhaps most obviously, raise Social Security taxes. If more money goes into the system lasts longer and continues to help people. Secondly, we need to raise the retirement age to account for longer life expectancy. If people are living longer, they need to be working longer. Having solely 2 workers for each retired person is not a sustainable system. We need to change the Social Security system to a means-based system. Rather than just have everyone receive the same amount of Social Security, those who don't need it, don't get it. Those who need more of it, get more of it. And finally, we need to raise the payroll cap. After $109,000, the Social Security is no longer counted as a percentage of your wage. If we continue to raise that, then it would still be fair because it's the same price overall, and it would also be more money into the system, which is very important.
We identified 2 specific economic concepts that apply to our Social Security reform. The first is the production possibilities curve graph. By raising the benefits, informally the retirement age, the American workforce will become larger. As you can see on the production possibilities curve, having a larger workforce will increase overall productivity levels. This will lead to overall economic growth in the United States. Our second economic concept involved the ASAD graph. Although increasing Social Security taxes will initially shift ASAD to the left, This shift is counterbalanced by government spending of social security money, shifting the graph back to the right. As a result, such a system will leave ASAD unaffected. Two specific government concepts we identified were one, a balanced government budget. It is important to have a balanced government budget. If U.S. keeps raising entitlement spending, it will have to continue borrowing money until the debt is too large and becomes larger than the GDP of the country. And a second government concept we talked about was the loose interpretation of the Constitution. Some might argue that the U.S. doesn't have the power to issue a social security system. However, in Article 1 of the United States Constitution, Section 8, Clause 18, also nicknamed the Elastic Clause, the government is allowed to issue any law necessary and proper for the country. This gives the government authorization to create a social security system as it is essential to the welfare of the country.